Hey folks, welcome to Machinery Pete TV, a special episode for you this week. We're in Jackson, Minnesota, right off I-90 here. Now if you're like me, been driving down I-90 the past year, you probably saw this billboard, "Real tractors are green." And you see it and you think, oh hey, it's a cute, catchy little phrase to get you to buy a John Deere tractor. Well, I'm telling you folks, there's a deeper backstory here about this dealer's C&B operations, and we're gonna dive into this story today. They have a real heart for sustainability of their customers and helping you as a farmer tell that story out beyond our world of agriculture. Now this story is so good, it even has its own country music song that's going to take us to Nashville, Tennessee. Now before we do that, let's get the backstory on this growing organization, C&B, that started out over 30 years ago with one location in Gettysburg, South Dakota, and now has almost 40 stores in 6 states.
Your machinery is a serious investment and at the heart of every farming operation. Some call it a passion. We're Machinery Pete TV, and today we'll cover everything from auction roundups to the classics to the latest trends and technology. Machinery Pete, the most trusted name in farm equipment.
Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com. Welcome to C&B Operations, a 37-store dealership spanning 6 states from Minnesota to Idaho. I sat down with CEO Peter Burwell to talk about the company and its exciting new initiative.
Well, we got started as a family business in 1988. My father, Rod Burwell, and his best friend Dan Cronin decided to save the local John Deere store in Gettysburg, South Dakota, a town of 1,000 people, or about 1,000 people in central South Dakota. And from 1988 through now, we built the right way and have been able to grow into what we are today.
Well, now I got to tell you, Peter, as I've been driving down I-90 here for a while, that billboard outside your beautiful facility in Jackson, Minnesota.
Thank you.
Real tractors are green.
Real tractors are green.
This is not just a catchy little phrase to sell John Deere tractors, is it?
No, it's a lot larger than just a catchy phrase. So we had some creative time, and some folks were sitting around, and we had this billboard outside the Jackson store that was kind of falling apart, and we were trying to figure out what to do with it. Through that process, ended up with the phrase "real tractors are green." We, through that whole process of kicking this idea around, saying we think we have something that is really interesting. Yep. How can we make an impact in rural America, and especially in the farming industry? So we started to branch out with the phrase and start looking at what else it could be. And we ended up landing on the fact that, you know, real tractors are green, the sustainability component of farming, and we ended up landing on the idea of taking this to an educational standpoint, and how could we raise money through this phrase to promote agriculture.
Coming up, how technology, sustainability, and customer service all come together for a better future on the farm. A key to any green initiative is sustainability. It's a fundamental part of C&B's Real Tractors Are Green program, helping the farm and the farmer alike.
If a farmer is not sustainable in what city folk would consider green or environmentally friendly, if a farmer's not taking care of their land, they're not going to have a crop, which means they're not going to have a business, which means it goes downhill pretty quickly. So the fact that folks are putting pressure on ag and farmers to get more environmentally friendly, we as an industry are really being told what our problems are, and I think we as an industry need to educate everybody we can about the success that we have.
Well, a lot of our customers have been doing the right thing for a long time, you know, and being sustainable. They don't want to double apply if they can help it. So the chemicals, the fertilizers, down to the seed, they want to be as efficient as possible, and that just ties into being good stewards of the ground. So The nice part is that our customers that are doing things right, companies are recognizing them for their efforts in that space. The ability to be able to document this and work with suppliers in some of these situations is just open the door for them to produce more, right, and be good for our environment.
And I think it's sometimes done for different motivations, actually. You know, when the markets are tight and the margins are tight, then everybody's looking for that incremental gain that sort of keeps them in business. And so they adopt for those reasons, and it's really strategic those days. Other times when margins are more generous, like we're experiencing right now, I mean, they can make those decisions almost for tax avoidance reasons. You know, so you have different motives, but it's all driving towards a better, more sustainable platform in the end. So that's the good news.
For many producers, sustainability has been part of the business model from the beginning. At New Fashion Pork, in 55,000 stores across 7 states and producing over 1 million pigs a year, it's personal.
We all live in the country around where we raise pigs or where we raise crops. You know, I've got a well, we pull water out of the ground, and so I surely don't want to do anything to hurt my family, and I wouldn't want to do anything to hurt other people's families. And so, you know, we try to take that and, you know, make the most out of the resource and, you know, be as efficient as we can and be as sustainable. And, you know, really, you know, in our organization, we kind of define sustainable as in a very simple way of doing more with less. And so how do we do the most we can with expending the least amount of resources?
But we're looking at it, I mean, we want to be in business for, you know, years to come. I mean, the owners of New Fashion Pork, Brad and Meg, have kids. They're probably wanting to come back and farm at some point in time. I have my own kids that I'm hoping my son wants to farm eventually. And so basically we got to take care of the ground.
Technology on the farm is both a driver of new practices and a result of the ever-changing needs of farmers. The best technologies, such as highly engineered planters, meet producers at their exact point of critical need and anticipate the demands of the future.
I can sell you a combine and it might help you just be more efficient or save more money on parts or something, but this planter is actually something that's going to add revenue to your bottom line. And that's what excites me. I'm not just asking somebody to spend money, I'm asking them to invest in their own operation.
Even just the technology that's integrated on the machine, where it finds the right gear and the right RPMs to save fuel. And since we've started integrating that technology, we've seen about a 6% savings on fuel. And so 6% may not seem like a lot, but according to AEM, it's about 200,000 cars off the road. If you look at, you know, kind of a comparable that makes a difference in. So not only does it impact our customers' bottom line, but it's good for the environment as well.
Along with technology comes the relationship with the dealer to help put the pieces of sustainability together.
It's probably one of the key parts we look for. Yeah, everything's electronic and technology nowadays. We need to have that backup and that service that a good dealership. It's very important to have a good partnership with your dealership.
We've had our discussions with C&B. And my discussion with them is, I don't care what the technology is, but if you sell me something I do not need, the next sale is going to be tougher, and if you do it again, there's no third sale. So we have to relate the technology that they're selling to what works on my farming operation, and it has to lead to what I can put into perspective of how I'm going to use it.
How do we create a long-term relationship by which they provide a service that's valuable to us? Like with anything, you have short time windows in ag to get crops in, take crops out, to get effluent applied in the fall. And so they've helped, you know, creatively look at how do we solve the equipment portion of that equation of saying, okay, how do we keep uptime? How do we keep the cost of that equipment to a minimum? Right. And looking at it on a partnership basis on being open-minded on both sides to say, it's got to be good for you, but it's got to be good for me too. And again, to me, that's sustainable because we're both doing more with less.
Hey, stay with us, folks. Coming up, we're going to learn how C&B operations in their almost 40 locations in 6 states, how they give back to their local communities.
Your next piece of equipment is on MachineryPete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. Only on MachineryPete.com.
A dealership is only as strong as the community it serves, something that C&B recognizes in their Real Tractors Are Green initiative. C&B President Matt Cronin knows the value of giving back to his neighbors.
What's the most valuable about rural America is that everyone needs everyone else. And the quality of life and the way I was raised from my parents, the way that I've raised my children and my wife have raised our children has been supported by that small community and that work ethic that you get in rural America. Our business model is that the store and the team in that store is C&B to that community. It's enabled by ownership, it's enabled by executive management that is not a part of that community, but that community should see the culture and the image and who C&B is through that team. And so that is where you get the best connection, that's where you get the best trust and loyalty and everything amongst our team and our customers and our team and our community and us and our team. And so that is paramount.
That connection with community is demonstrated in a program called Community Impact.
We knew that the communities have been so good to us as a business over the years. You know, C&B started over 30 years ago. Small towns were something that was important to it back then, and thought, how can we be more intentional to give back to the people that have blessed us? And so created an initiative where our employees across all of our locations, one day a year, they decide as a store how they can go out into their community and serve, whether that's partnering with a nonprofit organization, picking up trash in a ditch, cleaning up a park, helping at a school, whatever they find in their local community to be able to give back. They spend the day serving the community. Everybody comes at it a little different. Some of our employees give back often. You know, they're volunteering within their communities all the time, and for them it's exciting because it's just one more opportunity that they have to be able to give back. And others have never taken that opportunity. You know, they've never experienced it before.
Relationships are also forged in educational environments, such as the link between C&B's Mitchell, South Dakota store and Mitchell Technical College.
Well, about 5 years ago, I get a call from Corey Thielen from our local dealership, and he said, "Hey, I got an opportunity for you," and started talking about getting us a bunch of equipment, and I was kind of confused there because I thought he didn't quite understand that we're a school and we don't have any money, and but it worked out to our favor that he had a pretty sweet deal for us. And so the last 5 years C&B has been providing, it seems like every year we get a longer list of machinery that they provide for us, and it's not just stuff that they want to park there and let our kids look at. They actually want our kids to use it. They want us to use it in our land lab to pull our planter, to harvest our corn and soybeans, and it's been just a phenomenal deal for us and for our students.
Super fun to work with those guys. Early on, I challenged them to utilize some of the machinery that we donate or that we let them use, and they've done a knockout job of utilizing some of the areas that I've proposed and come up with a lot of new ones on their own as well. But it's always the kids. It's the light bulbs that turn on when you're explaining theory and they're doing it for the first time.
When we first put them in the machinery, their eyes are always big and wide open. Like, it kind of blows them back right away. Just all the buttons, they've never been in a piece that brand new, because when they get to us, they're brand new, and usually they don't get to operate the machinery at home. So this is their chance to get used to it, run that machinery.
Well, it kind of formalizes that whole thing of being proud about rural America, proud to be associated in the ag industry, proud to be a clog in that wheel. And obviously part of it is giving back, but everybody in a small community gives back. So this is just formalizing it and doing it in a fun way that kind of melds it together with today's younger generations.
Hey, stay with us, folks. Coming up, we are going to visit with country music star Anna McElroy about making of the song Real Tractors Are Green.
Click on RealTractorsAreGreen.com to view and order our awesome merchandise. A portion of all proceeds from the sale of #RTAG merchandise is donated to support worthy organizations in our local ag communities. Got equipment to sell privately but tired of scams and hassles? Visit MachineryPete.com and click Sell Mine. MachineryPete.com, the simple and secure way to buy and sell equipment online.
Real Tractors Are Green started with an idea for a billboard, but as the scope of the plan grew, so did the marketing campaign. It took C&B all the way to Nashville and a country singer named Anna McElroy.
We were down in Nashville for a buddy's girlfriend's birthday and trying to do something special, and a friend of mine from Minneapolis said, "Oh, I know this songwriter. He'll play some songs and it'll be really special. He just did it for us." And then before we knew it, it was a few weeks later, we were down at a bar listening to Keith play, and he brought Anna along, and then Anna opened up her voice. The whole bar just like stopped.
Roads are made of dirt, Sundays are made for church, and everything we got is
So Keith and I started talking afterward, and I was telling him about our marketing campaign that we were launching called Real Tractors Are Green, and before you know it, I get a call from Keith, and there's a song, and he's like, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, it's all right."
People in the company just are embracing this song. It's about them and they just love it. It was really cool to hear that.
You hear a lot of the other John Deere reference songs are talking about dating or talking about writing, painting. Well, they're all about dating, I guess.
You know, my dad has driven John Deere lawnmowers and everything for like my whole life, so I've always been around them, and so I think it's pretty cool to be able to sing a song about, you know, having that kind of relation. But I mean, every time Keith starts playing the guitar for the song, it's like immediate chills. I'm like, this is so good. It's just so fun.
This song's talking about take me back to where real tractors are green. Take me back to the country. Take me back to the roots. Everybody that we played it for loves it, and it's been fun watching it explode.
A song, a billboard, and a desire to be a full partner in the rural community was the starting point for a journey that will take C&B and its customers into a better future.
I think so many times we're all blessed more than we knew or realized, whether it's us as employees at C&B, we've been blessed, but all of us individually. I think if we step back and realize how blessed we are when we can give back and serve others, the joy that can come from that is pretty awesome.
I will always bet on rural America. It is absolutely the best quality of life, the best what we produce, what we do, and a lot of it has to do with you can't run away from a deal, so you have to resolve problems, you have to help each other, you have to have each other's backs in a small community.
Do you think, Peter, it goes, and this is just kind of who rural folks and farmers are, but not soapbox people. They don't tend to want to stand on a perch and say, "Look what I'm doing." That's for right. These reasons, but they're doing it. They're caring for the land with a long-term vision that farms have maybe been in the family for generations, and it's just an opportunity to tell the truth and share it with people who don't live out in rural America.
Absolutely, and I think that's part of just the culture of rural America. You don't want to blow your own horn. Yeah. And that's the hope with Real Tractors Are Green, is that it could be all of our collective horn to be able to control our message and educate, to say, look, we are doing what you think we're not doing. And this is how it happens, whether it's with precision ag technology or it's with tractor technology. I mean, there's so many different things in the growing cycle that have changed, and it's about sustainability and it's about profitability, which again, both are so closely knit.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed our special episode today here in Jackson, Minnesota, hanging out with the great team at C&B Operations, learning about their cool initiative, RealTractorsAreGreen.com. Definitely check out the website. There's some amazing merchandise you're gonna feel great about buying, and I tell you, the money spent there will be put towards local causes across their almost 40 locations in 6 states. We'll see you back here next time on Machinery Pete TV. Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com. Best way I've seen to fix faded paint? Dakota Shine. Order online at dakotashine.com or visit your regional farm stores to pick up your Dakota Shine today.
Your next piece of equipment is on MachineryPete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. Only on MachineryPete.com.